We've had spotty showers since about 7 a.m. here in D.C., and the radar indicates it's going to continue, but nothing to stop football from happening at FedEx Field. Just as we were getting ready for air, both teams coming out of their locker rooms, out of the tunnel, and this crowd is pumped up as their Redskins get set to match up with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They run with Adrian Peterson, the second active leading rusher in the NFL. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. On 2nd down, here's Haskins. Going for the deep ball. Oh, man, it's caught inside the 10. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Now the second year back from LSU, it's Darius Geis. And his first carry, he loses the football. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Oftentimes you say some guys have a knack for creating turnovers. He forced a fumble last week, forces another one.
And one of my good coaching buddies, Frank Delano, always told me, hey, Davis, creating turnovers is not as much about skill as it is about desire.
Oh, I thought it was going to be will, because will rhyme with skill.
Come on,
man. With desire. We'll go with desire.
What are you, the rhyme master now?
Heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges. Watch the safety creep. Kill.
Here's the man who's led the league in rushing twice in 3 seasons, Ezekiel Elliott. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. And it's Reuben Foster in on the tackle. For Zeke, one of first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his second rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. 2nd and 5 now. Prescott. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience is early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. And he finds Stills, complete. It's a pickup of 6.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. Third down conversion here is big. A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Let's pin the mirrors back and go full streak. 56 to Mike. 56 is to Mike. Bandit. Bandit. 56 to Mike, boy. 56. Here we go, kill. Here we go, 46. I'm here all day. Check Nick.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
First down, Dallas.
A pair of first downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44.
Tighten up. Pull it together.
From the shotgun again to Elliott. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Let him know.
Here go 46.
56.
On 2nd and 12. Prescott. And that's Elliott. Complete. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down.
Kill.
Let's get that ball here. Let's get that ball right here. Mike 55. Hey, eat. Watch the pass.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. We're scoreless after 1. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go 47. Here we go 46.
Now back to the ground with Elliott. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Kill.
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. And Stills bringing it in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Kenny Stills, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Brett Maher on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys.
Redskins, nothing.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
So from the 36 now, first and 10.
He's not going to get me.
Now a handoff. Geis going right. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
59, Mike. Check, 59. Check pass. Check 43. Hold on. Delta.
On second and 11 now. Haskins, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Robert Quinn, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
He's coming. We got double up. Yeah. Check.
Mike, check. 59. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go. Mike's 5'9".
Heavy.
Now Haskins, third and long. And the pressure gets to him again. Leighton Vander Esch wreaking havoc with a sack.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. He'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Take your side back to huddle. Side back to huddle.
So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. Back deep for the Cowboys, Tavon Austin. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And out of bounds, this will depend on where they spot it, and they'll say at the 45. They are in the second quarter down in Miami. The Patriots have jumped out to an early lead over Miami. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we about set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Two minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. And he'll take this one down near the 15. He was taken down by Quentin Dunbar.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Kill. 27.
Now Dak on the option left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tavon Austin, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
This is similar to baseball where you walk the leadoff hitter and you don't expect him to come around and score. Almost impossible. Anytime a defense has to defend a short field, you usually end up seeing the result we saw, giving up points.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now 14-0.
Redskins nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Check 3. Yo, check. Motion out of the backfield. Motion out of the backfield. Now, 59. Mike's 59. We own them. We own them. Mike, check. 59. Hey.
They go play action with Haskins. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Hey, 47. 56. Check 56. Here we go. We're going to 53. 56.
From the 35 on second down. Prescott escaping the pressure right. And incomplete. He tried to leave it underneath. Nearly got picked. They may be lucky to have that one back. 3rd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0 as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down at the 31. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard.
1 yard gain brings up 2nd and 9 at the 31-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now Dak on the option left, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. The Redskins on 3rd down, putting an extra man here in the secondary.
Kill.
Prescott. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Brett Maher now for the Cowboy field goal. From the right hash, this from 48. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move. The Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League where he kicked for 4 years. And I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
On 1st down, it's Haskins. Got a man, that's Allison. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
At the 27-yard line.
Yo. I got motion. Echo. Right, check. 59.
Looking to throw, Haskins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
He's 59. Mike to 59. Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. 59's Mike. 59's Mike. Check, check. 59. 6. I'm coming.
Third down. Here's Haskins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2. Remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here's Austin. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10.
At their own 29-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Tenth carry now for Elliott. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. And the Redskins have an extra man in the secondary here on 3rd. Now Dak on the option left. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the first on the 35-yard stripe. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. A check of the scoreboard there in the 3rd and Baltimore. You saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Haskins.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Byron Jones. So it'll be a change of possession on the turnover when we get back. We'll return with more of the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. A 1st down carry by Elliott. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
All day, dog.
They go to Elliott again. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. The Cowboys on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. A carry for the fullback. This is Mike Burton, and he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, after that pickup of a first down, I think some of the defensive guys are going to be looking over their coordinator and saying that was not in the scouting report. That went against every tendency most teams have. You don't usually hand the ball to your big guy in that situation. Sometimes you catch them by surprise.
Here's Geis. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They'll try and get it with Geis. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Throwing now, Haskins on first down. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. To throw on 3rd down, Haskins. And this one complete to Reed. And he's got this down to the 35. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 35. Haskins now, 5 straight completions here in this second half, 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6. Again, they run. Again, it's Geis. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. 3rd down, here's Geis. And Geis is going to be stopped short as he did not get the push he needed.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
And Hopkins' kick is good. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 26.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now Dak on the option left.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Now a play fake here on first down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
We're going to 54. Hey, kill.
Throwing here, Prescott. Got an open man, the tight end, Jarwin. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Prescott now from the 50. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hey, kill. We're going to 54.
To the air again, Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call.
A gain of 12. First down, Cowboys.
Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, a little insult to injury here late in the game. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for the Cowboys, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Washington, they'll drop to 0.